Why are stocks so shaky? Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. April has been brutal for stocks. This despite the fact that reported earnings for the first quarter so far have been impressive, with the vast majority coming in above expectations. But the market is always forward-looking. What does the future hold? And here we get to the big bad cloud that is looming. The Federal Reserve is pushing the economy towards a recession or at least an unwelcome slowdown. Europe, because of the disruptions of Ukraine and its own anti-growth policies, is already in recession or about to be. China's destructive lockdowns are further disrupting already troubled supply chains, which will mean higher prices, which will hurt economies around the world, including obviously our own. Unfortunately, the Fed believes that you attack inflation by deliberately reducing economic activity. Companies, for the most part, are not taking into full account what at best will be a sluggish economy, which will ultimately damage profitability. Now, obviously, some companies will weather this far better than others, but the overall picture doesn't warrant a vibrant stock market. Rising interest rates will eventually cool the hot housing market. Consumers will be paying more on their monthly mortgage payments, as well as for other items that they might finance on their credit cards. The cash many people built up during the lockdowns with all those government payments will be depleted. Consumers will eventually be cutting back. But the real weapon our central bank will be yielding will be trying to control the massive amounts of money banks currently hold at the Federal Reserve. Banks are loaded with excess reserves. They have plenty of wherewithal to lend. This lending is what will increase the supply of money in the economy. The Fed knows lending will boost the economy and, in their minds, more inflation. Our central bank is already sitting on a staggering $1.75 trillion of short-term borrowings from banks and money market funds, mostly just overnight in duration. To stem what it considers an unwanted flood of cash going into the economy, the Fed may well sharply increase the interest it pays on these reserves to keep them deposited at the Fed, rather than flowing into the hands of consumers and businesses via regular loans. The trouble here is that no central bank can finally calibrate an economy as large as ours. That's why most past attempts at trying to engineer a so-called soft landing end up triggering a downturn. Yes, there will be occasional stock market rallies, but the overall trend will be decidedly downward. Maybe, miraculously, the Fed will realize the folly of what it is doing and instead opt for what it has occasionally done before, that is, focusing on stabilizing the value of the dollar. Back in the 1980s, for example, and for much of the 1990s, our central bank did that by keeping the greenback roughly tied to gold. But today, don't count on that. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions. I look forward to being with you soon again.